So you can see how weird this looks. If you haven't followed my reviews, normally I have my normal setup. I have a table and whatnot. As you can see, I'm currently in this weird chair, and it looks like garbage behind me. I just have no. The chair is huge. It's a full body massage chair that I got today, and I'm just trying to live my best life. That's all I'm doing. So, it's gonna be a heck of a review. Let me adjust this real quick. Let me see. Oh, there we go. So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier series finale. Who knows if we'll get the continuation of this story? That is too far. That's too far. That's too far, chair. I love this thing. It's so ridiculous. It's so dumb, but it was a good sale. It was a good sale. And this was a great episode. It was a fantastic ending to this series. I don't know if the continuation of their story is going to go into, they'll do another series where it's, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or if they'll do a film, or however it's going to happen next. I'm excited no matter what, because this was a great ending to the series. And man, his suit looks amazing. I love the suit. I'd seen it once. I think I mentioned that before. I'd seen whatever the toys were that they revealed it. Got like a glimpse, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. And I just stayed away from it. I was like, I didn't really want to see it. I was just like, I won't look again. I'll just wait till the show comes out. I'd seen a glimpse of it last night too, because they did a trailer for it, so they were clearly like, hey, here's the suit if you want to see it now. And I was just like, oh, I got the quick glimpse, but I was just like, nah, scroll past it. I don't want to see a trailer. I just want to see the episode. I'll wait until the morning, or afternoon really, because it's like 3 o'clock almost. But when he came through, we see the shield first, throws the shield in, blows through the window, so it's like, this cracked window and just a hole, and we see him flying towards it, burst through, and he stands up, and I was like, that suit looks sick. The whole episode I was just like, this suit looks amazing. Like, it's so cool. And I love the white. Like, I like the shoulders actually look like he's wearing a jacket, because it's not like Steve's suits where like all of his suits were kind of the same, where it was like an actual suit on his body. And typically that's what Sam would have. I think his in Civil War, or not Civil War, Winter Soldier, I think he had like a vest or something like that. And, he had like sleeveless. It was like a T-shirt or something. And it was like, okay, then he's got like his full get up or whatever. And even in this, it was like, okay, yeah, that looks cool. But when he got like his cap suit, it was amazing. I was like, the shoulders look slick, like they're like flat shoulders and stuff. It looked like he was wearing an actual jacket. And it was just like the white aesthetic looked really cool. And I think that was another big part of it, where Steve's main color was always blue. That's always been, red, white, and blue, of course. But typically, he would have more blue than anything else. Mostly in, I think, Winter Soldier was when he had like the most blue. It was basically all blue and a little bit of silver, which I thought was the coolest suit ever. I was like, that's like the sweetest costume. And that was always my number one. Like, I like his other costumes. His original outfit is fine. His Avengers outfit I thought was cool. I like how vibrant that one is, actually. And then, I barely remember anything outside of like his original one, because it's so vibrant, and then his Winter Soldier one, because it's my favorite one. And then this came along, and I was like, man, as far as cap suits go, I don't know, but it's up. I'm like, that it just looked good. It looked really, really good. I love how it looked. I love the mostly white instead of the mostly blue. I thought it was a fantastic choice. So I really enjoyed that. The wings, like everything just flowed. And I was just like, that whole suit is ridiculously amazing. I love the whole everything. I was just like, I like this whole suit, and I came out like the whole episode. I was just like, so I want to take time to appreciate that before we get into this review. The suit was ridiculous, and I wasn't gonna buy the Hot Toys when they would announce it, but now I'm just like, God, that suit is so sweet. I might just have to do it. Let me do. There we go. Just hit some buttons and stuff. But the suit was freaking amazing. U.S. Agent also gets his suit, which is technically just the suit he's had the whole series, except they made it black because that's what it is in the comics. That's literally his exact suit, except I don't think he has like the little A at the top. That's the only thing I don't think he has in the comic book, and I could be wrong about that. But it's totally the exact suit. It's just black. So it's like, as he said, it's the same but black, which you could also apply to Captain America now. It's the same, really, but black. Some people won't see it that way, but it is what it is. It's Captain America. It's a black guy now. Some people are going to be super pissed. That ending, he had a whole speech, and the whole time I was watching, I was just like, there's somebody who's just like, is just waiting to type pure woke garbage on Twitter. And then they were probably waiting, and then I think it was probably not even that speech. It was probably the scene where Sam saves the truck, and then the dude's like, oh, that's Black Falcon. He's like, no, that's Captain America, which I just find that to actually be cheap. I hate when shows do that all the time. I'm just like, Just have the second person talk instead. It, like, don't do the, whoa, what are you doing? I didn't know this was going to happen. Things happening, I guess. This chair goes so far back. This is ridiculous. Make sure my ugly bare feet don't show. But here we go. Here we are. This is where we are now. So I'm way back here. I'll readjust this a little bit. But, I just knew that was going to happen. Like, you know, it's already been the thing where people talk about it, and it's just like, why does the show have to talk about race and things like that? I think I said in my very first review, it was either my first or my second. I think it may have been the second, because it was when Sam and Bucky, what is this chair doing? This chair is alive. It was when Sam and Bucky got pulled over by the cop, and I was just like, people are going to hate this show, because they're going to be like, why do they have to talk about race? As if it doesn't apply to anything. Because, you know, it's, I don't know. People act like just nobody would give a crap. It's like, well, we've dealt with aliens. Nobody's going to care. And I'm like, I feel like people truly underestimate the stupidity of other human beings. And that's fair. It happens all the time. But I'm just, wow, this thing is crazy. I've never hit this button. It's for energy. So it's like an automated thing. I didn't know it did all this stuff. It's the first time I pushed that button. So it's just like, I didn't know what was going to happen. I love this chair so much. And it was great to sit in it while watching this amazing episode. But he had a couple great moments. He had not just his introduction, which was super epic. I just the suit is so good. I want to talk about that more, honestly. Like, I just love how the suit looks. But the stuff Sam did in this episode with the combination of the wings and shield was so good. Him taking the dude out of the helicopter, that was freaking amazing. I love that scene. He just does a front flip, throws it, the shield hits the door, blows the door off, and he just dives in, takes the dude out. The woman just hops in front. I was like, that's sick. He saves the truck. He gets like 2 little mini jet boosts, and then he's doing it and pushing it up. That was super cool. John Walker did have some good moments, though. He tried to save that truck. He tried to do it. You know, they show the shield drop, and Bucky sees it and stuff like that. And it was like, okay, we see him doing good. It's one of his better days, if you will, because we've seen him on a bad day, and this was a good day. He made the decision. He's like, she can go, because I need to save these people. I need to actually be a hero. And I like that. It was super fast, as far as, you know, it being one episode, like his turn and everything. But he was actually good. He did good. And like I said, I count it as one of his good days. We will see what happens going forward with whatever they do with his character. But he had a good moment in this episode. And, you know, he was helping out. He was a part of the team. And it's like, you know, he quotes Lincoln and stuff. And I love the scene where, you know, like, he taps Bucky on the back and everything. Like, I'm cool with you guys now. Like, I know I was kind of effed up a little bit. And he's just like, but we did good today. Like, he was kind of cool. And I was like, okay, you're not like cool. But he was cool as a human. Like, he was all right. You know, he was real baseline average. And he wasn't like an asshole. So I was like, okay. That's cool. And, you know, they talk about him quoting Lincoln. It's like, it's a good quote. And it's like, not when you say it. And I was like, I feel like that was just, they knew that the internet was going to hate him, because I doubt they just filmed that. But I'm like, that's almost the perfect line to put, because I feel like anybody, I shouldn't be, I guess, so stretched out. It's like, it's got like air and stuff. Like, it pushes air and all this. It's got so many features. It's insane. It's ridiculous. Wow, this is insane. Let me push this thing up. So, he had some good moments. I like what he did. He was very excited by the end of the episode. He's like, yo, I'm back. And he was super happy, and he hugs his wife. And it's like, okay, we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see it. But he was all right. He was, like I said, baseline average, not a complete douchebag. And he was cool. He did the right thing, and that was nice. So, I like that moment. Sam had a couple. He had the moment when he saved the guy. I forgot. Man, this dude goes up against so many helicopters. I swear, this show, I've never seen one show have so many helicopters. Like, Airwolf is probably that's such a weird reference for me to make, but Airwolf is probably the only show that has had as many helicopters as this show has had. But there was some helicopter where he saved people, some different people, and there was the scene where he like helps the guy, like one guy gets helped by Red Wing, and then Sam actually helps the other guy himself, and then the helicopter's spinning, and so he lands on the bridge, and they both get covered in the wings, and he puts the shield as like the top piece, so that when the helicopter hits, it like bounces off the shield and like, you know, flies off into the water. I was like, that's actually super cool. I just love that scene. I thought it was such a great moment. So I was really happy about, we're moving again. But I was super happy about that moment because it looked super cool. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the flip. I enjoyed the car save. I enjoyed the speech. I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, they did the speech and they went like all in. Like I knew that they would talk about it, but he went like all in on the speech. And I was like, oh, dang. I thought it was going to be shorter, if I'm being totally honest. But it was like, no, he went like all in. And they didn't, you know, like he does mention like, you know, I'm black and I wear the stars and stripes, which they made a great joke about where Bucky's like, sorry, I was texting, so all I learned was black man and stars and stripes. I thought that was really funny. But, you know, he goes on and is like, and the funny thing is, even though he does apply his race to, like, how he sees the situation, I thought the way that they did it was, like, even though I know people are going to be mad about it, I was like, I feel like he said more than enough that didn't specifically have to do with his race. Like, he mentioned it where it was like, you know, what don't I know being a black guy that does fight for this country and stuff. But when he mentioned, like, specifically their world, like, he talks about, like, you know, aliens, things that have invaded, they're in New York, so have invaded, you know, just the state, things that have wiped out half the world, stuff like that. And it's like, things are different now. Like, you guys are, you have that same power. And he even said, and I like the way that he does it, like, you have the power of a god or, you know, a misguided teenager. And I was like, oh, that's actually really a really cool way to do it. So I like the speech personally. Obviously, it'll be called woke garbage by, like, a bunch of people on Twitter because they were just waiting to put it anyway. But I thought it was a good speech. I was like, oh, this is a nice speech. You know, he kind of gives a little nod to John Walker, and John's like, okay. You know, he kind of, like, really looked all the way down. He didn't just do, like, the nod. Like, you know, people typically do, like, and, like, the understanding. He literally looked down, and I was like, I wonder if he's probably still a little sad, but he was like, yeah, I get it. Like, he was kind of just like, okay. But he accepted it. It was like, it is what it is. So I enjoyed that. Sharon Carter is officially the power broker. She, of course, shoots Carly. I assume, you know, he says that she died and everything, so it's just like, yeah, she's dead. So she's gone. They also take out the other super soldiers as well, which was an amazing moment. But Sharon is officially the power broker. Batroc the Leaper finds out he wants 4 times as much, and she's like, I don't do blackmail. Kills him. Kind of a unceremonious end for that guy. So that's unfortunate, but it was like, oh, he's gone now. And so, of course, she gets shot. Carly ends up being taken down by Sharon, and is like, oh, you had that one side. You could have just been like, power broker. But, you know, it had to be more dramatic. It's like, I'm sorry. And then she dies. You know, she gives the sorry, and it's like, dang. You know, and I love the moment when she sees Sam as Captain America, like, you of all people fell for that bullshit. And he was like, I'm trying something different. Maybe you should too. And I thought that was a great moment, because that was, you know, that first speech they had was so good, because it was like, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just disagree with the way you're doing it. And I thought that was such a good moment when, like, as soon as she sees him as the symbol, and it's just like, how could you of all people be Captain America? And I was just like, that's actually a cool confrontation. I almost wish they were able to talk more after him becoming Captain America, but their confrontation was more, you know, visceral, where it's like, it's kind of, I feel like I can't say Endgame as much anymore because it's always going to relate to the movie now, but it's that sort of thing where it's like, you're at the end of it now, you're in the end game. And it was just like, I got to take this dude down. And I love the fact that she was saying, like, you know, like, fight back and stuff, and he's like, you know, I'm not going to do that. I got to be careful with this, I don't want to mess it up. But he's like, you know, I'm not going to do that and everything. But I like the way it was handled. And then, you know, of course, she gets shot. And it's over. Game over for her. But I like the way it was handled. And, you know, he has the speech and everything. Then he goes and gets the guy that was in the water. And so, of course, you know, it's like, okay, what's going to happen with these characters? And then the cop, or not the cop, but like the SWAT guy, you know, he's lifting up. It's like, you know, one world, one people. I was like, oh, okay. We got 3, or 4, I think, yeah, it was 4 super soldiers. I would assume the guy in the water was in the truck at that point. And so I was like, okay, we got some super soldiers. They're doing their thing. They're probably going to get help. What is this story doing? Like, you know, what's going to happen here? Nothing, because they died. They all blew up, and then they show Baron Zemo's butler, and it was like he just had a little C4 switch, and it was just like, got him. I was like, dang. Zemo's amazing. Like, it was just like, hey, can you make sure they die? Yeah, sure. And it's just like, and I love, like, him listening to the thing, and it's just like, and, you know, a mysterious explosion took out the last of the Flag Smasher super soldiers, and he's just like, yeah, Machiavelli. And then he just lays back and he goes to sleep. And then Val is like, oh man, Zemo did better than I could. I couldn't have done it better if I planned it myself. Maybe I did, but I didn't. Or did I? Like, I don't know. I love her character. It doesn't matter. So that was great. I think she did, by the way, because I'm like, he's literally in prison. How would his butler know exactly where to go and all this stuff? It was probably her, because she's probably involved with the Thunderbolts. Like, that's the answer. That's the answer. So, absolutely loved it. I loved everything that they did with that. You know, Sam giving his speech, we get to see all the characters. We see, obviously Bucky was there, but we see Bucky, we see his sister, we see Isaiah, we see Torres as well watching it. And so it was like, okay, everyone, you know, had their moment to react to the speech, and then he goes to see Isaiah, and it's like, okay, like, all right, you did a good job. You know, like, you did a good job. You know, it's like, you know, Malcolm and stuff like that. It's like, you know, no argument there. So they have their conversation, and it's like, okay, you know, like he kind of changed his mind because he got to see Sam do it, and he listened to Sam say like, I have to fight, considering everyone that's already fought before me, including you. So that was really cool. And then he does a super cool thing where he takes him, and we find out that Isaiah Bradley now has his own section in the Captain America exhibit. And I thought that was really cool. And, you know, it's a very emotional moment. And he's, you know, they have like the golden statue of, I guess technically it would be bronze or whatever, but it looked gold. Like it was probably a bronze statue painted gold, but you know, that's what it was. And so I was like, that's really cool. And you can, if you pause it at the right time, you can see at least like that top paragraph that they have. The rest of it I couldn't read from a good angle because it was too blurry. And there's probably some position there where you can pause and actually read the whole thing, and it might even already be online, honestly. But I was like, that's a really good moment. Then of course they just have their ending, and everything's just like a cool happy ending. They play a nice song. Bucky comes in and he's playing with the kids. He's, you know, just chatting it up and just like, yeah, you know, I got super strength. You know, I'm just telling this story. Look at me holding these kids. I'm great with kids. Look at me with kids. Look at me with my other arm out. I might be hot. I don't know. I'm not saying I am. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just talking and telling stories. I was like, he's trying. He's trying to be in there. But it was a nice moment. I like the ending scene. Then they play the song. We get the long credits. I like the song, but they show like every single person that was in the show. They also have a lot of cool moments where before all the people's names come in and things like that and their titles, they have random things. So some of that stuff was like real world stuff, which I think was like, you know, things from the Constitution, things like that. And then some of it was like MCU world stuff. Like they had a moment where they show what I'm pretty sure was the date that Bucky killed Tony's parents. I think because it said like Cam 3 and it showed like the day and time. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. They had, you know, just a bunch of random stuff in there. They showed stuff that had the flag smash. It was super hard to see because they did it so fast, but if I was like pausing it for a couple of them. But I enjoyed it. I was like, that was really cool. And then of course it ends and it's like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Fantastic. And then of course, post-credit scene, Sharon Carter is officially back. The Power Broker is in her hometown. And then that's it. You know, they're just like, surprise, surprise. Not really surprise, surprise, but you know, like, an ending, like, you know, a post. I can't even say it was a surprise. Like we all figured it. Either she was working for the Power Broker, or she was the Power Broker, and they would just show that person later. And it was just like, yeah, it makes sense. She's the Power Broker, and of course, people were right when they said that she was just kind of covering her own butt and just making it seem like she wasn't the Power Broker, and she was doing what double agents do, which I think I mentioned in the last episode. Like it kind of made sense because she was not only an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but she was in the FBI. If anyone knows how to play both sides of the field and be a super secret double, triple, quadruple agent, it will be someone that's been an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. alone, and then she transferred to the FBI. So it's like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense that she'd be like, hey guys, I'm here to help. I probably hired that guy to kill you, but I'm here to help you for sure. But that's how it works. That's how it works. She should talk to Black Widow, but I guess she can't. Love the ending. I thought it was really good. I'm excited for whatever they end up doing next. We don't really know what's happening. We have a million movies coming out, but they haven't talked much about the shows going forward, because I think as of now, WandaVision, of course, is going to tie into the next Doctor Strange movie, which I think is like the end of next year, if not 2023, unfortunately. Or I think it's early 2023, which really sucks because that's probably what I'm most excited for at this point. Or maybe Spider-Man, really, because I still don't officially know, but that's multiverse as well. So those two movies are like the ones I'm excited for most, because that's what's going to be like, hey, here's where we're going. So looking forward to those, but buttload of movies coming out. I'm excited to see where these characters show up next, though, as far as the shows are concerned, and the movies, because we don't know. They might show up in the movies, and they just haven't told us yet. We don't really know at this point. There are a million mysteries up in the air, but either way, I'm excited. I love the show. I love the action. I love that new freaking costume. It just looks so good. And I'm excited to see where they go. I want to see the Thunderbolts. I think that has to be it. That's like the only answer. It's the Thunderbolts. I'm looking forward to that. And we just have to wait and see. We'll see when Black Widow comes out. That might give us a few more answers. But I'm excited for Black Widow. I'm excited for Loki. I'm excited for, I think both Hawkeye and Miss Marvel come out later this year. And then, man, Shang-Chi. I cannot wait for Shang-Chi. I want martial arts to come back so bad in the States. Like, I mean, it's not like it never really went away, you know, in China and stuff where martial arts typically is made. Hong Kong, you know, martial arts movies. But I'm amped for them. I'm so excited. And also, we get the Mandarin. You should watch Iron Man Armored Adventures. I got to make a video about that, because now's the time. If you want to see some cool Iron Man, mostly Mandarin stuff, that's really the main point, is to see the Mandarin. Iron Man Armored Adventures. You will get an amazing version of the Mandarin. Also, you'll see the actual version of the Makluan rings, because they changed it to like those bracelets, which makes sense. I watched a YouTube video and somebody was like, they probably don't want to do the rings because they're too much like the stones in the Infinity Gauntlet. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense why they made them bracelets. And I was like, that totally makes sense why they did that. But they're actual rings that go on all 10 fingers. So Iron Man Armored Adventures, just to throw that out there. Amazing theme song, by the way. One of the many great Marvel show, cartoon theme songs. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Falcon and the Winter Soldier series finale. I love this chair. I love that show. I love that costume. It's ridiculous. I just do. I don't know what it is. I mean, I just haven't seen a costume that really made me go like, holy crap, like that since, honestly, Captain America and Winter Soldier. Like, the blue and the silver. Just... it's pristine. It's just that good. It's just that good. So, as of now, those are probably like my 2 favorite costumes in all of the MCU. It's just like the 2 Captain Americas. There's some other cool costumes in there, of course. I think the Scarlet Witch costume, I think they did a fantastic job on that. That does look really cool. That might actually be number 3. I still don't know. Winter Soldier costume or new they called him Captain Falcon, by the way. I'm glad I didn't forget that reference. Somebody threw it in there. I was like, what do we call him now? Like, Captain Falcon? I was like, yes, please, because he can do a Falcon punch, and that would be the funniest thing ever. But they did the Captain Falcon thing, and I feel like that was for nerds like me. But it also makes sense that somebody would come up with that. But I'm like, every nerd that watches this is going to be like, they said Captain Falcon. So I know I did hear that. I did hear somebody say that, and I was like, Captain Falcon would be fantastic. But they know they can't. Even if it's not legally owned by Nintendo, somebody at Marvel is like, we can't call him Captain Falcon because we'll never hear the end of it. So I'm glad that made it in there, though. They're probably the only time they make that reference, unless like another giant nerd comes in and is like, let's just throw that Captain Falcon reference in again. But that might be the only time we get it. But I hope it's not, because that would be really funny. But thanks for checking this out. This very weird review. Oh, the chair's taking over. So I guess that's it. I would love to know your thoughts on the series finale for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So please put your comments out. This thing goes so far back. Please put your comments down in the comment section below. This is so dumb. But I love this chair. And of course, thank you guys for watching.